Imagine, if you will, a small town upside down. A rift to a cold, dark dimension has torn open in the woods. A girl with shaved hair and superpowers walks out of it. Your best friend's girlfriend is floating in the air, a vessel for a vengeful entity from that other world. Monsters made of swirling dust and rage stalk the shadows. In this reality, the most unbelievable thing isn't the supernatural, it's the idea that you're supposed to just accept it all without question. For Lucas Sinclair, the boy in the baseball cap who prefers a flashlight to a slingshot, the end of the world isn't a call to adventure. It's a problem that needs to be logically assessed, and his skepticism isn't a character flaw, it's the most vital survival tool in Hawkins, Indiana. When we first meet Lucas, he is the anchor. Mike is the heart, full of romantic idealism. Dustin is the mind, curious and accepting of the weird. And Lucas is the spine. He is the one who looks at 11, this strange, silent girl Mike has hidden in his basement, and doesn't see a magical elf or a damsel in distress. He sees a liability. He asks the questions everyone else is too swept up in the mystery to ask. Who is she? Where did she come from? Is she dangerous? While Mike is naming her after a dungeons. In a world suddenly gone mad, holding on to logic is the only way to keep your footing. This pragmatism defines his entire approach. Think about the party's gear. While they all have their walkie-talkies, Lucas is the one who brings the wrist rocket, a practical, physical weapon. He doesn't rely on magic or hope. He relies on what he can see, aim, and shoot. When they go into the woods to find the gate, he brings a compass. It's a simple, brilliant move. In the face of a terrifying unknown that defies physics, a compass pointing the wrong way is a piece of concrete, testable data. It's proof. This is the core of Lucas's psyche. He needs evidence. His mind is a courtroom, and extraordinary claims require extraordinary, verifiable evidence. He doesn't blindly believe Mike's stories about 11 moving things with her mind. He needs to see it. And even when he sees it, the process isn't over. He then has to figure out what it means, what the rules are, what the dangers are. This often puts him at odds with the group, painting him as the naysayer, the wet blanket. But this is a misunderstanding of his role. Lucas's skepticism is the group's immune system. It's the function that questions, that challenges, that pressures tests every plan. Without it, the party would be a group of believers charging headfirst into every supernatural threat. Guided only by gut feeling and friendship, Lucas forces them to strategize, to think about consequences, to have a backup plan. He is the one who consistently argues for telling an adult, not out of cowardice, but out of a clear-eyed assessment that the scale of the problem is too big for them to handle alone. He recognizes their own limitations, a crucial form of intelligence that his friends, in their bravery, sometimes lack. His journey with Max in Season 2 is the perfect evolution of this trait. When the boys are trying to get Max to join the party, Dustin and Mike are using charm and D. To Max, and to any sane person, it sounds utterly insane. Lucas, the eternal skeptic, now finds himself in the strange position of being the believer, and he's terrible at it. He has no evidence he can show her without breaking the code of secrecy. He learns firsthand how frustrating and isolating it is when your truth sounds like a fantasy, and it gives him a new layer of empathy. Yet, even in trying to convince her, his method is factual. He's not weaving a tale, he's presenting a case. However poorly. Where Lucas's pragmatism truly becomes his superpower is in its adaptability. He is not a closed-minded person. When the evidence becomes overwhelming and incontrovertible, when he sees 11 close the gate, when he fights the Mind Flayer's army, he accepts the new reality. But he doesn't swap his skepticism for blind faith. He simply updates his database of facts. The supernatural is now a variable in his equations. This is key. He doesn't stop questioning, he just questions within the new paradigm. In later seasons, he's not arguing about whether monsters exist. He's arguing about tactics, about the best way to fight them. His skepticism evolves into strategic brilliance. We see this most clearly in Season 4, which is Lucas's masterpiece. Hawkins is being torn apart by Vecna's curse. The group is splintered, operating on theories and radio signals. Lucas finds himself straddling two worlds, his old friends, fighting the fight in the shadows, and the popular crowd, specifically the Hawkins High basketball team aiming for a championship. In a town rotting from the inside out with supernatural grief, the basketball game is presented as a symbolic victory, a heart for the town. Lucas, the pragmatist, sees the immediate, tangible value in this. He sees a chance to give his sister and a grieving community a moment of joy, a real-world win in a war that feels increasingly abstract and hopeless. But when the real battle arrives, when Max is in mortal danger in the Creel house, Lucas doesn't hesitate. He doesn't get a magical power-up. He doesn't suddenly develop 11's abilities. He uses the tools he has always trusted, his body, his courage, and his mind. He takes his athlete's strength and his strategist's brain into that attic to face the ultimate evil. And when he fights Vecna, what does he use? A makeshift weapon, a spear with a nailed board, and a wrist rocket loaded with fiery projectiles. It's technology, it's aim, it's human ingenuity against a cosmic horror. He is using the very first tool of defense he ever brought into the fight, now upgraded for the apocalypse. His final, desperate act is not a spell or a psychic blast, it's screaming Max's favorite song lyrics, a factual piece of data about her, to tether her to this world. It is logic and love, combined. Lucas Sinclair's psyche is the blueprint for how a normal human being survives the extraordinary. In a story filled with government conspiracies, psychic powers, and interdimensional monsters, he represents the power of the grounded individual. His skepticism is his shield. It protects him from gullibility, from panic, from despair. It forces every unbelievable situation through the filter of prove it and then what do we do about it. He is the reminder that in the darkness, you don't always need a supernatural light. Sometimes, what you need is the steady, reliable beam of a flashlight to see the ground in front of you, to identify the threat and to find the most solid path forward. He is the heart of the argument that you can believe in your friends and still demand a plan. You can accept magic and still think tactically. In the chaotic, terrifying, and wondrous story of Stranger Things, Lucas Sinclair is the voice of us, the audience. He is our surrogate, asking the questions we would ask, fearing the things we would fear, and ultimately finding the courage to fight not with powers we don't have, but with a stubborn, rational, deeply human will to survive. His story is the triumph of the pragmatist, proving that in an upside-down world, keeping your feet firmly on the ground is the bravest thing you can do.